Without further hype over the new support of branded, because honestly I'm not that impressed, we're hopping right away in some combos in the TCG, and we'll do the same opening hands for Master Duel and see what does this combo accomplish for branded Synchro, which already exists, you know, because as you know, branded Synchro has always been a different style when it comes to play branded. So what changes this makes for branded Synchro now? So we're hopping right away, and well, honestly I feel like everyone at this point showcased the one card combo, the Fallen of White. So I'm not showcasing this combo because it's typical plays, you know, special summon, get the Ecclesia, Synchro level 8 into Ecclesia, Black Dragon, you know, it's typical plays. So I'm going to be showcasing which is supposed to be your main opening, which you could call two cards combo, but this is your main opening in order to pop off, which is the Quem plus Bestial Lubellion. I'm going to showcase for you. This is the first line, and we'll do the play for the TCG, and we'll do the same opening hand for the Master Duel and see what changes this makes. Okay, let's hop into the first line. So we have our best way to start our branded Synchro combo. This is the old way, and it's going to be still the same way after the new card gets released. Quem. This card is the mastermind of your deck. This bridges your in-deck pieces with the graveyard. This bridges your graveyard with your field. Okay, triggering her every turn shifts everything into your advantage. So normal summon Quem we use to send Mercorier, but this time we send Fallen of the White Dragon. You said Fallen of the White Dragon, banish it with the Bestial Saronir to send it for a Bestial Despair. Okay, trigger the Saronir to send a Branded Sword to the graveyard. Branded Sword is going to recycle the banished Fallen of White into your hand. Okay, you special summon the Fallen of White, then send the Albion Red, special summon your Ecclesia, and Ecclesia for the special summon a Golden Sword Soul. Okay, now we could go for Ecclesia of the Black Dragon, which could banish yourself until the end phase to special summon a Cartesia. Okay, in this instance Golden Sword Soul is going to trigger to summon a Quem. Why Quem? Because we used Quem first effect, now it's time to trigger Quem is second effect. Okay, so we normally summon the Quem, you then summon the Golden Sword Soul with the Bestial Despairer to make sure to use Golden Sword Soul again during the opponent's turn for more gas. And Despairer's rule is already done, so we tribute Despairer for Bestial Lubellion, set the Branded Regain. We now could summon Despairer whenever we want with Branded Regain next turn. Okay, and now we Cartesia fusion summon with the Golden Sword Soul into a Grabbing Node. Grabbing Node could send a monster to the grave, we could send a Stigmata Dragon, we could send a Titan Clad, so it's huge. You summon a Ecclesia from graveyard with Quem to use Ecclesia on the opponent's turn to fuse with their field by summoning a Albaz during the opponent's turn. Okay, from now we could use the Albion effect to set the Fallen and the Virtuous. This will allow us to pop a card, and it could trigger Quem to reborn a monster from grave at the same time. Okay, we also have Cartesia, returning star back to the hand. So how many disruptions is this? First of all, you have the Ecclesia of Black Dragon. It can special summon a Mercorier for a monster negate after you fuse with their field with Ecclesia summoning Albaz. That's like from 3 to 4 disruption, because you fuse into Stigmata Dragon by fusing with 2 of their bodies into a shuffle from their graveyard, so that's triple disruption. Summon a Mercorier with the Black Dragon is also a disruption. The Quem could reborn a monster from grave. Let's say you could make Mirror Jade, you could pop a card or special summon a monster from either graveyard because you have an Ecclesia monster. The Regain could reborn a Despairer for you. The Grabbing Node could jump off the field to summon a Dogmatica Ecclesia. We play Dogmatica Ecclesia and Fleur de Lis in this deck. Why? Because Dogmatica Ecclesia is summonable off of Albaz. In some scenarios, you could play around opponent's Maxi or Fuelos, you know, by summoning just a what is it called? The a Dogmatica Ecclesia to search for Fleur de Lis to end your turn on a monster negate, because you always have Quem on rotation. So you can also access the Fleur de Lis monster negate through the Titanclad or the Stigmata Dragon trigger at the end phase. Through Nadir Servant, search directly for the Fleur de Lis. Non-target monster negate is always great in some defense scenarios where you would want to defend yourself and make the minimum special summon under Maxi or Fualos. So this was just Quem plus Bestial at the TCG. This doesn't include Verte, but what if Verte is alive, which is the case when these cards come to Master Duel? Hopefully Verte will be still there, you know. So what happens when we open up Quem and Bestial, but this time with a freaking Verte Anaconda? Watch clearly, because this is insane. And this is the same line, but probably exclusive for Master Duel because Verte is here, okay? So what Verte makes, and this line makes it broken, okay? You're searching for a Magnamod this time. We don't need the Saronir for anything. We don't even care about the Saronir Sin, okay? We keep Saronir to be searching during the end phase is better. Quem, normal summon, send the Mercorier, and you can banish the Mercorier and search for Tri-Brigade Springin's Kit, okay? Well, this is a solid one-off. It's broken if you know when to search her, and as a branded Synchro player, it's the most important moment in your combo when you go Disputer, okay? Because you go for Disputer, summon your banished Mercorier, which makes your Tri-Brigade Springin's Kit special summonable from hand, and this is what makes everything interesting. We special summon the Tri-Brigade Springin's Kit. It's special summonable if you have any Albaz monster or Tri-Brigade or Springin's monster on the field. The Mercorier is a Tri-Brigade, so you special summon it from hand. We summon the Bestial Lubellion over the Disputer to set up the regained to make sure Disputer popping off on the next turn. And now we linking off the Tri-Brigade Springin's Kit and the Bestial Lubellion for a Verte Anaconda. And that's going to trigger the Tri-Brigade Springin's Kit to summon the Quem, then you Synchro summon with the Mercorier and the Quem for the Ecclesia of Black Dragon, summon a Cartesia, and then you Verte Anaconda at Chain Link 1, Cartesia on Chain Link 2, fusing with the Verte Anaconda into a Grangwignol. Grangwignol is going to be sending in Albion Red from the Extra to the Grave, and Anaconda special summons a Sanctifier Dragon by sending an Albaz and a Golden Sword Soul, okay? So the Albion Dragon also is going to be setting for you a Virtuous and Fallen to power back card on the field, or a Branded Banishment. In my case, I prefer Branded Banishment. It's so powerful, okay? But you could set the Fallen and Virtuous for the hype if you want, okay? Because we do play Dragon Lord in this version in Master Duel, because we have Verte. Verte could send Golden Sword Soul. Golden Sword Soul enables you to make plays on the opponent's turn, and now we could make even more plays on the opponent's turn thanks to the Ecclesia of Black Dragon, okay, which gets on the field during the end phase. This scenario, I'm going to add the Saronir from deck, resummon the Ecclesia of Black Dragon. We also have Cartesia back into the hand, and on the opponent's turn you have the Branded Banishment to reborn the Quem and use with the opponent's side of the field. You have the Sanctifier reborn the regular Albaz. This is the regular Albaz, which fuses with the opponent's side of the field into a Stigmata Dragon if you want to. If they have some sort of disruption to disrupt the Albaz fusion, you could follow Branded Banishment, reborn the Quem, fuse with the opponent's field, as long as you have the Albaz on your side of the field. You also have the Grangwignol could jump into another Quem if you want to, or it could jump into a Dogmatica Ecclesia, which searches the Fleur de Lis non-target monster negate. But you want to make this move at the last resort, okay? As a last resort, after you special summon from your extra deck all you want, you make this, because the moment you search with the Dogmatica Ecclesia, you get locked from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Okay, so you want to make sure that you already use the Sanctifier Dragon Reborn and summoned from your extra. You made your other plays and just keep the Grangwignol in graveyard or on the field. It triggers eventually to get you in Ecclesia, indestructible by battle with monster special summon from the extra, searching for Fleur de Lis, non-target monster negate, and even more people I think would like to play Dogmatica Fleur de Lis because it's now accessible more than ever in branded Synchro, especially with the new Stigmata Dragon. You could access her through Stigmata Dragon or a Titanclad or a Nadir Servant. It's a quick answer in the Maxi and Fualo situation when you want to end on disruptions with a minimal special summons. That's why Nadir Servant is going to be so broken when those card comes out in Master Duel or even in the TCG. So I recommend at least playing one copy of Nadir Servant with the Fleur de Lis. It's optional to play the Ecclesia Dogmatica. You could play Ecclesia Dogmatica just to search for Fleur de Lis with Grangwignol on the opponent's turn, because we're not solely reliant on Grangwignol to summon Quem. You could summon Quem with the Ecclesia of Black Dragon now. You could summon Quem with Banishment. So now Grangwignol could summon a Lulu if you want. It could summon a Dogmatica Ecclesia at the end of your blaze to search for a Fleur de Lis. Potentially going for this beyond Lulu is going to be the best target off of the Grangwignol. The Ecclesia of Black Dragon could summon an Ecclesia monster to do what? To fuse with the opponent's field. We don't care because we already have the regular Albaz engraved, so we mainly going to fuse with the opponent's side of the field through the Sanctifier Dragon Reborn Albaz from grave. So what could the Ecclesia of Black Dragon potentially get us? It could get us a Mercorier for a monster negate, okay? And the Branded Regain also is going to be drawing us cards here and special summoning a Despair from grave whenever we want to destroy or negate monster opponent controls. The Bestial Saronir could also be sending a opening for protection. It could be sending a Retribution to recover your Branded Fusion for next turn, or Branded Sword to recover a banished Albaz Beast you want. Also, you have the Golden Sword Soul in your graveyard, which could summon the Cartesia onto the field to make an additional fusion summon. So let's suppose that you Sanctifier Dragon, Reborn Albaz, and give them a light body, go into Albion, then Lubellion, then a Cartesia special summon, and Banishment you go into Dragon Lord plus Mirror Jade. The Cartesia on the field, make sure that when your Dragon Lord uses its negates, Cartesia fuses with the Dragon Lord plus a body dragon on your field or hand into a Chaos Star Source. So you get rid of the Dragon Lord as soon as it uses its negates, because it chain link blocks cards like a Mercorier, cards like a Branded Retribution if you have it. If you have an Ash Blossom or a Ghost Spell or a Ghost Ogre, you cannot actually use them while Dragon Lord is on the field. So Dragon Lord is just there for the bait, okay? So if you count that the number of disruptions this line gives you, I don't want to overestimate this line, but you have at minimum 11 disruption, at minimum, okay, plus tons of shit follow-up. This is the line in Master Duel. So we could actually increase the difficulty of those lines. And what happens when we add a single brand in High Spirits to the Lubellion and Quem? We'll find out about that next. And we have the line which increases the ceiling almost by double. You have the Quem, normal summon, send Mercorier, banish with Bestial to search for a Shadow Dragon, okay? Shadow Dragon, activate, send a Branded Retribution, chain Branded High Spirit to send the Shadow Dragon to search for a Cartesia, okay? Very good. Quem, special summoning the Shadow Dragon, and Cartesia is special summon from hand. And now you could do some cool things, because things get so much better when you reach this setup, okay? Because now you could choose to extend into Despair, which is the case here. Despair is going to be special summoning the Mercorier. Also Saronir sends a Branded in white. Now special summon the Saronir onto the field, and this is where Despair is just sitting there, so we just tribute it, summon Bestial Lubellion. Lubellion set up a Branded Regained. And from here, we used to fusion summon with the Cartesia into the Albion, but now we could actually go for the Ecclesia of the Black Dragon using the Cartesia and the Mercorier, and we used the Ecclesia of Black Dragon to summon another Cartesia from the deck for us. Okay, don't trigger the regain to return the Ecclesia. We want to make sure that you get her during the end phase, or if you're desperate for draws, you could just return her during the extra deck, and you know, you could summon her again if you want to, but my opinion, just leave it there to be used during the next turn. Okay, now Cartesia fusion summon with the Albion into Albion Red. Albion Red fuses into a Grand Wignall. Now we could actually trigger our regain to return the banished Saronir to draw a card. Okay, and we also have a branded retribution. Adding the branded in white, we send to the graveyard, and in this scenario we sent a Shadow Dragon to the graveyard, even though we had already Shadow Dragon in graveyard. Why? Because you want to make sure that when you activate Shadow Dragon from graveyard to send a branded spirit or trap, it shuffles itself from graveyard. So if you have one, then you have Albaz none in grave. But if you have two, one shuffle itself back into the deck to send the branded spirit or trap, and the other one stays in grave to be used as a duo with the branded in white. So branded in white, activate, banish the Shadow Dragon from grave, alongside sending Albion Red from the field to the graveyard to summon our Mirror Jade. Okay, now Mirror Jade is a non-target monster banish. We also could send a branded banishment if you want to, or a Fallen and the Virtuous. I'm going to send a Fallen and the Virtuous for the hype. We also have a Titanclad triggers to search for a Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis, since we could access Quem through the Ecclesia of Black Dragon, summon the Quem from the deck. Quem is a Dogmatica monster as well, so it makes the Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis live to monster negate. You also have Despair summonable by regain to pop or negate a monster. You also could use the Grand Wignall floating effect to summon a Disbian Lulu non-target Omni negate a face-up card on the field, that is. So you also have Albaz being sent to the graveyard with a newly summoned Quem to trigger the Mirror Jade, sending a Rimbrand to be used later to fuse with the opponent's side of the field to make a Stigmata Dragon unaffected tower monster, because you could access whatever you want with Quem. As I told you, Quem sends a incredible Ecclesia to the graveyard, Mirror Jade non-target monster banish. You then activate the Quem to reborn the Ecclesia to perform a fusion summon using two of their bodies into a Stigmata Dragon. Stigmata Dragon, you could use it to recycle your banished pieces, or if you want to disrupt the opponent's grave, you could do it. It's even better, and it's unaffected. So there is a lot of potential in Master Duel, especially when those cards come with Anaconda Unbanned, which is the case in Master Duel. I think this is going to be huge in Master Duel, so I do really hope that Anaconda will be there when those cards come into Master Duel, because Anaconda changed everything. Anaconda makes branded Synchro better double or triple times, you know. It's huge, you know. Verte Anaconda is the whole thing, but in case of the TCG, you do want to replace Verte Anaconda with some generic link monster to link your effect monster to trigger some effects, and SP Little Knight is just perfect for that. It's only 2 effect monster. It's count as a disruption, and you could use it to trigger your Tri-Brigade Springman's Kit. You could use it to trigger your own Guiding Quem. It has lots of uses, and you could make some cool tricks with it, you know, dodge some negates, or, you know, play around Nibiru. If your opponent Nibiru, you SP Little Knight, banish double bodies. You also have the Ecclesia of Black Dragon, returning yourself onto the field during the end phase. So there's some really cool plays with this deck in the TCG, which wasn't the case before the support, because branded Synchro was not playable in the TCG whatsoever in any way before the support. Because what are you gonna do to Synchro summon? You wait to open up a Bestial, which you could open lots of opening hand without a Bestial. So what do? You just wait for the Bestial to Synchro summon. So it was hard a little bit. But in Master Duel, if you open no Bestial, it's no problem. You could still play around Ash by going for Verte Anaconda and extend with the Verte Anaconda and make double to triple fusion summon before you go to the Anaconda fusion, and make some cool plays during the end phase as well and on the opponent's turn when you make a Sanctifier Dragon. But in TCG, you open no Bestial, so you cannot play unrestricted. So this support is genuinely huge for the TCG, because TCG now could play branded Synchro, which was not possible before. This huge. Let's actually make it more complicated and add a Mercorier on top of the Quem Spirit and Quem Lubellion and see what happens. So this is one of the most interesting lines I accomplished with this deck, going through all support cards we have actually. So let's just be clear that the more extenders you have in unrestricted branded variant you are playing, the more lines you have, then the inboard will be almost depending on how efficient you could calculate steps ahead of your opponent. Like, you have to know what your end phase is going to be looking like, because your end phase decides your main phase. So it doesn't matter what you're going to do in the main phase if you're not prepared for the end phase, because if I know what I'm going to have in the end phase, then I will be more accurate when it gets to decide what is good for the main phase, okay? Which is the case. You have to calculate steps ahead. So with this hand, we are going basically for the same line, you know, get the Mercorier engrave, banish the Mercorier, using the spirits while you have the Quem on the field to trigger Quem's second effect to get another body. So basically branded deck is about, you know, climbing, you know. You could climb with fusions, you could climb with linking off bodies to make Verte Anaconda or Little Knight where Verte Anaconda's banned. You could link and synchro off, you know. You could climb with using multiple effects of the same body, you know, use Quem to send, then use Quem to special summon from grave, then use Quem as a synchro material to then summon Quem again on the next turn. So it's basically branded now is about looping everything you have, and the more your mind is capable to process the new inputs in the gameplay itself and is able to process what you have engraved, what you have in banishment, what has the priority to recycle, the more you are in control in your grind game, okay? So this is not new. Quem is going to be sending a Shadow Dragon. Shadow Dragon is good because if you're able to calculate 2 or 3 steps ahead and know if you going to have a branded white play or not, then sending Shadow Dragon is the way, since we could get Mercorier engraved, because we could send Shadow Dragon, duel with a Saronir to get retribution, and branded in white to have a branded in white play. But when we send a branded Spell or Trap with a Shadow Dragon, it shuffles himself to the main deck. So we may want to send another Shrouded with the Grand Wignol to make the branded in white life, okay? Now we branded in High Spirit, send the Mercorier to search for a Cartesia, and now the Quem is going to be searching, it's special summoning a Shadow Dragon, and Cartesia is now special summonable. Summon, banish the Mercorier with the Saronir, Mercorier trigger to search a Tri-Brigade Springen's Kit. See, this is the most important moment in your whole combo, because the moment you go for Bestial Despair, this decides everything. This decides whether you want to stop if you're playing under Fualos, where you just give them one summon, one draw, and have a Cartesia play with the Shadow Dragon, or also having a branded regain to reborn and have you recycle more pieces if you want, okay? Or you could choose to extend furthermore by abusing and using the Mercorier and Tri-Brigade Springen's Kit for more body advantage, okay? And now you could summon the Mercorier, make the Tri-Brigade Springen's Kit special summonable from hand. This states that if you have any Albaz monster or Springens or Tri-Brigade on your field, you get to special summon this card. We have a Mercorier. Mercorier is an Albaz monster. Mercorier is a Tri-Brigade monster. So this is special summonable. Is this summonable if you have a Albaz monster? No. You could only reborn Albaz monster, but it's only summonable if you have a Tri-Brigade or Springens, okay? But you could reborn Tri-Brigade, you could reborn Springins, you could reborn any Albaz monster, but you have to control Tri-Brigade or Springins monster in order to special summon it. And we have Mercorier. Mercorier is a Tri-Brigade, so there you go. You have a Springins kit special summonable. And now, since we use this Bader to summon the banished Mercorier, now we could easily tribute it for a Bestial Lubellion to send the Branded Regained, okay? Now, summon the Tri-Brigade Springins kit. Now, what could we accomplish with here? If you are on Master Duel, you could just go for Verte Anaconda, but let's be real, we're not sure if Verte Anaconda is going to be there by the time, so let's assume we don't have Verte Anaconda, so you're going to link off the Tri-Brigade Springins kit and the Bestial Lubellion for a SB Little Knight, okay? SB Little Knight could help play around Nibiru at some points, and it's also cool to have SB Little Knight, you know. It's also this, it's a cool card, and honestly I couldn't think of any generic link monster to be helping us abusing the amount of bodies that we could swarm on our field, okay? So I think that SB Little Knight is not optional if you decide to play this deck with the capability of being unrestricted, with the capability of not relying on brand fusion, okay? So this is the replacement for Verte Anaconda. Now use the Tri-Brigade Springins kit to reborn the Quem again. Now what do we have? We have two additional plays now, okay? After we had this Bader engrave, we had Granted Retribution engrave, we also have the Shadow Dragon, which could send us a Branded in white. We also have a Synchro summon into an Ecclesia of the Black Dragon, and we have Fusion summon into Albion. We have two huge major plays that we could do, okay? So now we use the effect of Cartesia to Fusion summon into Albion the Branded Dragon. Albion the Branded Dragon is going to Fusion summoning into a Gragwignol. Gragwignol Fusion summon on summon, send a second Shadow Dragon to the graveyard to give us the full Branded in white play, okay? Send the second Shadow Dragon as the regain trigger to draw us a potential hand trap or a potential bestial. So draw, send the second Shadow Dragon, use one of the Shadow Dragons to send a Branded in white by returning himself back into the deck. And now we use the Branded Retribution, return the Branded in white, and fuse away. Or before we fuse with the Branded in white, we Synchro summon the Mercorier and the Quem into an Ecclesia of the Black Dragon, okay? What could be good to summon off of the Ecclesia of the Black Dragon? Well, you have two major choices. You could summon a Mercorier if you want a Monster Negate, but in this instance, honestly, I don't care about Mercorier. We could get a Monster Negate through a Titanclad searching for a Fleur-de-Lis if we want to, or we could summon an Ecclesia monster to have Ecclesia in rotation in our hands being recycled and to extend more into Synchros because we're not locked. So I'm using the Ecclesia of the Black Dragon to summon an Incredible Ecclesia from our deck. Incredible Ecclesia jumps off the field to summon a Golden Sword Soul, okay? Now, you have to think, am I restricted in any way? And if you ask yourself this question, you have to ask yourself, have I used the Branded Opening? Have I used the Fallen of White Dragon from the hand to special summon? Have I used Lubellion Searing Dragon? If the answer is no, then you're not locked, okay? So you could actually Synchro summon level 12 Disbian Lulua Lilith through sending the Golden Sword Soul and the Grandwignol to the graveyard, okay? And now we could use the Branded in white, banish the Shrouded from grave to summon a Mirror Jade, okay? That's trigger the Disbian Lulu to negate a face-up card on the field, which is the Mirror Jade. Also, that triggers Golden Sorcerer to reborn the Incredible Ecclesia from our grave to give us a potential Stigmata Devouring Dragon play during the opponent's turn to fuse with two of their bodies and disrupt their graveyard if we want to, or just recycle our pieces. Also, the Lulu is going to be negating the Mirror Jade and gain a boost. Okay, boost the Ecclesia, boost the SP Little Knight, boost the Mirror Shade, everything is boosted by 500. And now, since the Mirror Jade is already negated, we could use its effect to send a Titan Clad to the graveyard to be triggered during the end phase. So we keep the Stigmata Dragon in our extra deck to be fusing into on the opponent's turn, and with the Titan Clad, you could choose to search for a monster negate. As I told you, you have Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis is very good in this deck. You could access her in many ways. Non-target monster negate is huge, okay? Yeah, the Albion Red is going to set the Branded Banishment for you. Since we have Quem in graveyard, we could make some cool plays. Also, Branded Banishment is so powerful if they draw blade your Fallen Albaz attempting to fuse, or for example, if they have any way to negate your Fallen Albaz, you just Banishment, Reborn the Quem, fuse with the Albaz and their field by banishing materials, then Quem triggers to Reborn another body from grave. So Banishment is like, you know, 2 to 3 disruption in one card, you know. So you could also set the Fallen and the Virtuous, since we could actually use it to Reborn. You have the Despair waiting in grave to be special summoning off of the Regained. You have the Lulu, which could be triggering to negate a face-up card on the field, non-target. You have the SP Little Knight to banish 2 cards during the end phase. You also have Ecclesia of the Black Dragon back onto the field. There you go, you have the Lulu, monster negate. You also have Ecclesia of the Black Dragon back onto the field to summon a Mercorier to give us the monster negate, or summon a Cartesia to give us an additional fusion trigger to have a Chaos Star Source or Burial of Furious, or even a Dragon Lord if you want to, or if you play Dragon Lord for triple Omni Negate. You also have the Rimrum Engrave, could be a duo with the Albaz if you are able to get Albaz Engrave, or if the Ecclesia gets fingered, you're capable of just get it to the Albaz through the Quem and use it with Rimrum. So you are not solely reliant on one play to make an Albaz fusion play. You have more than one way. If Ecclesia gets fingered, you get the Albaz through the Rimrum. You also have this Despair to negate. The Mercorier is engrave. If you're able to banish it, then trigger and search. We have some insane plays here. This also banish herself until the end phase. The SP Little Knight banish also herself during the end phase. So basically, you have plays. Whatever happens, whatever they have, if they deal with your field, if they deal with your graveyard, you still have plays at the end phase, not just triggers, okay? Because those are some huge and cool plays you could do with this deck. You could literally play with a huge flexibility through a different hand traps that almost your standard branded deck usually lose to, okay? So this was one of the best lines I could possibly showcase for you. And what if Verte was there instead of SP Little Knight? It would be the same exact line we made, but we go for Verte instead of the Little Knight, and Verte is going to be giving us a Sanctifier Dragon. Sanctifier Dragon is going to be an additional way to steal monsters from the opponent's grave, or just risk a monster of ours which is about to get bestialed or gets fingered, you know, or rescue our Maxi, it's about to get fingered. So you could make some cool plays with Sanctifier through an Anaconda if we have that mastered, okay? But yeah, that's it. You could also check in this channel later for a branded Synchro videos. We do all the cool plays with branded Synchro, because branded Synchro is our main deck to be played with here, okay? And I call it branded Synchro, but the Synchro summoning is not the main idea. The main concept behind branded Synchro is playing unrestricted, is basically linking off whenever you want, you know, extending into synchros whenever you want, because you're unrestricted, okay? You're not solely reliant into one strategy of playing, you know, and this is almost beneficial every time you play through suspicious stuff and toxic stuff, you know. So yeah, this entirely changes everything about branded, because now branded could be played in 2 official ways. You could play it with branded fusion, you could play it without branded fusion, okay? You could play still with branded fusion, but your main plays is going to be synchro, which means if you open up branded fusion in your opening hand, you're going to be so mad, because you don't want to resolve branded fusion. You want to make synchro plays and play full potential with higher ceiling than branded fusion, okay? So in this build, I would recommend to play just one branded fusion for the Anaconda, or you could play two if you're not feeling bad about hard drawing branded fusion. But in my opinion, I hate branded fusion, so I'm just going to play one copy in this list. But I would recommend for you to play two, since opening branded fusion for you is going to be very good. So this is basically the deck list. You would want to play Guiding Quem at 3 because this card is great. You would want to see Guiding Quem on your opening hand because it's the best normal summon you could ever have. It's extender into a Despair if you have a Bestial. You could send the proper target to fix your hand to the graveyard. You could special summon from grave, and with the Fallen and the Virtuous branded in High Spirits, the Fallen White Dragon, cards that could potentially trigger Quem more often to reborn bodies from our grave or reborn big fusion monsters from grave. That's huge. So you want to see Quem every turn in rotation on the field, not just in grave or in hand. Okay, so triple Quem is the way, as Incredible Ecclesia is also good that we want to run this at 3 because it saves your normal summon. You could make some cool plays with there, the hand traps is not final because I'm not to be lying to you, I'm not playing on TCG that much, but I've made this list for the TCG because I'm not going to be not real. Like, we don't know if Anaconda is going to be there when it comes to message or not, so I prefer to make it without Anaconda. Thus the TCG is the way. So you could adjust those hand traps and replace them with other hand traps based on your vision, but this is the structure that you would want. Okay, you could play more Bestials to make your line into Despair more guaranteed, because Despair gives you more lines and makes your inboard more ceiling and gives you huge advantage through having branded regained and continually summoning Despair off of the grave and recycling your one-off pieces, because after the new support drops, our extra deck is not just tight, but it's crazy how fast our extra deck is going to be running out of cards after the new support comes. Because let's just imagine this: if you branded fusion and used the Near Servant and branded in High Spirits at the same turn, this means that you no longer have Mirror Jade, Albion, Titan Clad, and Stigmata Dragon in your extra deck one turn, and you still haven't Mirror Jade non-target monster banish to send another monster. Once you Mirror Jade non-target monster banish, this means that you don't have any Albaz monsters on the extra deck except a Albion, Sanctifier, Rimbrum, and a Lubellion. No more targets to be special summoned off of Lubellion except Chaos Star Source. No more targets to be special summoned or to be sent with Mirror Jade to non-target monster banish. No more targets to be sent from the extra to special summon the new Albaz monster. No more gas in your extra to activate and pop with the Fallen and the Virtuous. Okay, so you could choose to play safe by playing 2 copies of the Stigmata Dragon, because obviously it's the best send off of the Fallen of the White Dragon and the best send off of the Nadir Servant. And if you have branded in High Spirits, which ideally want to be used with the Tri-Brigade Springins kit, you not just search for an Albaz monster and trigger the Stigmata during the end phase to grab a Tri-Brigade or Dogmatica, but Springins kit also triggers in graveyard to summon an Albaz monster. Okay, so Branded High Spirit on Tri-Brigade Springins kit is one of the most powerful plays you could also do. So if you want to play it safe into the grind game, have a solid amount of Albaz fusion in your extra to, use and abuse your Albaz cards that requires sending from extra as cost. I require you to play 2 Stigmata Dragons. Otherwise, if you're sure you're able to handle and manage the gas and recycle your pieces consistently by getting out Despair and Regained and using the Ecclesia of the Black Dragon to recycle, then go for it. Okay. Also, the Nadir Servant is one of the most solid cards that you could play after the new cards get released, because sometimes you want to play into some hand traps, maxi or any of the more charmies, giving them a minimal draws, also ending on a disruption. So Nadir Servant could basically give you a multiple disruptions at the same time. So with Nadir Servant, if you send a Titanclad to grab a Quem sends for you a Fallen Albaz to have an Albaz play during the opponent's turn. The Titanclad searches for you a Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis. Fleur-de-Lis is going to be live thanks to the Quem being a Dogmatica on the field to non-target monster negate, okay? If you have a Nadir Servant and Fallen the Virtuous, you can Nadir Servant Chainlink 1, Fallen the Virtuous Chainlink 2, pop the Nadir Servant, send an Albion alongside the Titanclad to grab the new Fleur-de-Lis monster if you're playing branded Dogmatica. The new Fleur-de-Lis monster is going to be setting a Dogmatica encounter, I should say. Dogmatica encounter is a non-target special summon Albaz from field, or non-target special summon Albaz from hand or grave, I should say, onto your field, okay? So you could either choose to grab the Fleur-de-Lis to negate a monster, or the Fleur-de-Lis to set a trap. It's activatable at the same turn, make your Albaz play, or just rely on the Quem to make your Albaz play. So Nadir Servant is going to be very solid, but I'm just playing one because I'm just satisfied with one Nadir Servant. It's good. You can play it at 2 potentially. You can also play a single copy of the incredible the Dogmatica Ecclesia, that is. You could play one copy of the Dogmatica Ecclesia, because with the Grand Wignon, in the opponent's turn, when you finish special summoning from the extra, you could use Grand Wignon, jump off the field, summon a Dogmatica Ecclesia to search for a Fleur-de-Lis monster negate, or search for the Fleur-de-Lis Thunderous to set a Dogmatica trap into your back row to be activatable this turn, okay? So maybe you would want to play a single Ecclesia copy to be used this way if you want to. Otherwise, you don't want to play Ecclesia, since you can access Fleur-de-Lis anyway through multiple cards. Also, keeping the Grand Wignon to summon the Lulu, okay? Because usually you get locked from summon a non-level 8 fusion or synchros from the extra if you use the Fallen of White Dragon. So in this case, you would want to summon Lulu through the Grand Wignon on the opponent's turn for more disruptions, okay? And it's a very good disruption to be used with, you know. Non-target Omni, negate face-up, negate any face-up card on the field. Also, it's a follow-up if it gets wiped or destroyed. Also, the boost is great. The duel with Mirror Jade, when you summon Lulu first, then summon Mirror Jade, then you negate the Mirror Jade, gain 500 boost. Use the Mirror Jade to get another Albaz name in graveyard, and it's still activatable at the next turn. It's also a huge play. Yeah, so this support is basically made for branded, making it open to all other archetypes and the lure. This makes branded Dogmatica is very good. This makes branded Sword Soul playable, and we still are going to be having a Sword Soul support. This makes branded Springans very good, because with the new Springans Xyz monster, let's actually read the new Springans Xyz monsters. So this is the new Springans Xyz monster. It states that if this card is Xyz summoned or sent to the graveyard, you could special summon a Springans Captain Sargas from your deck or graveyard. Then you could detach 2 materials from this card, add to your hand, or special summon one of the following monster. You could special summon a Springans monster from your deck, or a Fallen Albaz, or a monster that mentions it, okay? So this means that a single Gold Sea Golganda field spell in your Springans deck with a Springans monster in your hand is 1.5 card combo. You go for the Xyz monster, you detach 2, special summon an Albaz monster to get the Alba's Blaze going on. At the same time, you could overlay into Gigantic Captain Sargeus. Gigantic Captain Sargeus could search for a Therion King Regulus Omni Negate if you want to, or it could search for the Quick Play spell. Where is it? The Quick Play spell, this one. This card could search up to 2 Springen's bodies and special summon up to 3 bodies at the same chain by detaching materials from the Gigantic Captain Sargeus if you want to. So this makes Branded very open to other decks, which means that this is officially more than one way to play Branded, okay? Because you cannot do this shenanigans if you're going to be counting on Branded Fusion, okay? Branded Fusion is good, but if you're going to be counting on Branded Fusion only, then you're not going to be doing much with this support, because you're not actually doing any shit with this support. You play Fusion Deployment, you play Branded Fusion, you cannot do these plays. You could make these plays twice every 10 duels or 3 times every 10 duels. That's not much to be playing asynchronous in your extra. Just play Branded Standard and don't talk too much. But if you're playing Branded Synchro, then you just need one Branded Fusion in your deck. It's very solid if you play one Branded Fusion. I played 2 Branded Fusion because some of you will still feel good about opening Branded Fusion, but in my case, I feel upset hard drawing Branded Fusion because I don't like the Branded Fusion line unless I search it myself. I don't want to be forced for doing Branded Fusion Light just because I hard open Branded Fusion. So you could play 2 Branded Fusion, but in my case I would prefer to play 1. Yeah, that's it. That's the Decklist. That's the option that you could have. Yeah, also the SP Little Knight. Maybe you think that this is optional. Actually, it's not optional, because you want to abuse some cards like Tri-Brigade Springen's Kit or the Quem Summon from Grave by abusing and linking off a bodies on your field, okay? You want to link off with the Tri-Brigade Springen's Kit to special summon from Grave. You want to be linking off with 2 bodies to trigger Quem to summon another body. It's also a cool disruption, the SP Little Knight. You could dodge Nibiru by banishing 2 of your bodies. It comes during the end phase with the other body. Also, you have the Ecclesia of the Black Dragon also returning onto the field during the end phase. So you could make some cool plays by jumping off the field with the new Ecclesia monster and the SP Little Knight. But mainly SP Little Knight is for clearing space and trigger other cards, abusing and using our cards to get the maximum benefit and reach the ceiling with it. So yeah, it's not optional, it's mandatory if you want to play unrestricted most of the time. And for this reason, you play triple High Spirits, you play triple Quem, triple Ecclesia. It's great going second. We only play 2 Cartesia. It's good. You could play at 3. You could change the hand traps as you want. You could play more Bestial package to have a Bestial in your hand, giving you accessibility to go for Despair and make some other cool plays with the new Synchro. So yeah, this was the main idea. Great content about every Branded variant is going to be done later, so make sure to stay tuned. That was it for today. Thanks for watching, and don't hesitate to ask anything in the comment section.